If you are keen to turn your passion into a successful YouTube channel, today's guest is going to share with us how, with the help of their two gorgeous dogs, who I have a little photo of here, they have built their YouTube channel to over 7,000 subscribers. Jim and Bea Walker are from Modern Canine. They're dog trainers in the Phoenix, Arizona area, and they are canine travel experts. Jim and Bea have published 2 books for modern dog parents. We have Keep Your Paws on the Road, which is a practical guide to traveling with dogs, and Chew on This, brilliant title, Homemade Dog Treat Recipes. And they also have a really wonderful podcast called People with Passion for Pets, where they interview people who create a product, service, business, or lifestyle out of their love for pets. And I am very pleased to welcome Bea onto my channel today to share her wisdom with us. Thank you so much for joining me today, Bea.
Thank you. Hi, Claire.
Hi. It's so wonderful to meet you. So good to have you on to share your knowledge about YouTube with us. So grateful to have you here.
It's my pleasure. I'm so glad you invited me.
So if anyone has any questions that pop up while we're chatting, I've got a few questions already for Bea that I'm going to get her to answer. But if anything pops up for you that you are curious about, just pop it in the live chat and we'll see that come through and we can answer any questions that come through for you. But first of all, Bea, I would love to know, what was your motivation to start your YouTube channel?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, Jim and I, my husband and I, we are dog trainers in Phoenix, Arizona, and we both love to travel with our dogs. And in 2017, we wrote a book about traveling with dogs called Keep Your Paws on the Road. And originally, our YouTube channel was actually all about the dog training aspects. And then after we started to promote the book, we went more into really giving tips on how to travel with your dogs and wanted to share a little bit about our dog adventures. And so that's what we did. And that's kind of how the YouTube channel came to be. And then it's kind of interesting because the YouTube channel, the topics keep shifting a little bit for us, because in 2019, when we were all kind of stuck at home with COVID and hadn't, not being able to go out, we went back to doing a lot of training advice, and we also went back to doing quite a bit of product reviews. And then we started doing the interviews. So there's such a wide array of topics that we can cover with our YouTube channel. But if I had to all sum it up on why are we doing YouTube, it's really because we have a passion for the adventure of life with the dog. And we just want to share that with our audience and just give some helpful tips on what it's like to be a modern dog parent.
That's so wonderful. And what have been some of your highlights from your traveling adventures with your dogs?
Yeah, so well, we live in Phoenix, Arizona, and Arizona is a beautiful state to go out for dog adventures. So that's where obviously we started a lot of our YouTube adventures. And then we travel in our fifth wheel when it's hot here in the summertime in Arizona. We go to different states. We went to California, we went to Oregon, Washington, Utah, we went to South Dakota. So a lot of our adventures are on our YouTube channel.
That's so wonderful. And so for you, the process of starting a YouTube channel was after you wrote your book?
No, actually, we had started the YouTube channel originally with dog training tips because, as I was saying, we are dog trainers in the Phoenix area. So we did that first. So the channel started originally in 2016, and the book didn't come out until 2017.
That's wonderful. So the book, which I haven't had the pleasure of reading yet, but I'm so keen. I think it sounds really, really interesting. I don't actually have dogs, but I have had a dog walking business for a long time. So I'm kind of just really interested in everything dog related. So which is why your channel jumped out at me. It's so interesting to hear from a fellow dog lover. I'd love to know a little bit about your process of writing and publishing this book.
Yeah, so originally the idea came when Jim and I were in Montana we traveled with the 3 dogs that you see there on the cover of the book. And when we were traveling with our book, oftentimes we would come across people and they would tell us, I would love to take my dog, but my dog doesn't behave. And so I get a dog sitter or I have to leave him at home with family. And we realized that there's so many people that would really love to travel with their dogs, but they don't really know how to make their dog into a perfect traveling companion. And so actually the book was dictated and kind of came to be from a drive back from Montana to Arizona. When Jim and I were just driving, we were using Google Voice to just dictate parts of the book and ideas, and then later just made those into the book. So the book is actually put into 2 sections. The first section of the book is all about you and yourself preparing for travel with the little adventures that you can do at home and a bunch of wonderful skills that we feel are essential for a dog on the road. Many of them have to do with being safe, like never rush through an open door, or knowing how to travel in a vehicle safely, or how to be familiar in busy places. And then the second part of the book has more to do with being on the road and actually having a little bit more skills on, how do you go to dog parks? How do you get dogs introduced when you're meeting family or staying overnight at places where maybe there's other dogs? So, we kind of just wanted to have it from a dog trainer perspective. So it has a lot of exercises that you can do with your dog. And I always like to say, even if you're not going to, travel the world with your pet, this book is definitely going to help you, even if you just want to take your dog to the farmer's market or just do a camping trip, because it just keeps the dog safe and it just makes them to where they're comfortable with travel.
Absolutely. That's so awesome. As a dog walker, I know, like, every now and then there'll be a dog who is just absolutely terrified of getting in the car, and it's just amazing. I've watched some of your videos about the process of teaching your is it Apollo,
Yes,
the younger one? Yeah, I watched your video, which is amazing. I will link it in here. When Apollo was a puppy, and you teaching or Jim teaching, I'm sure it was a combination of you both. Were you a camera person on that video?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
And I wish that I had seen that video in the beginning when I first started walking dogs, because the process needs to be so much more gentle than what I tried to do. I was a little bit of a rookie, and I was like, come on, treats, hurry up, get in the car, like trying to force them, which is of course only adds to the fear. And I really love all of the amazing practical advice that you have on your channel. It's so good. Would you mind sharing a little bit also about like the process of actually publishing the book? So did you self-publish?
Yes, we did. Yes. So
Yeah,
that's I know it's definitely a learning experience. It's one of those things, same with, as many people know, with starting a YouTube channel or any other endeavor, when you first start something, you don't really know anything, and you just kind of do one step at a time. So yeah, like I said, we basically wrote the book on the road from Montana back to Arizona. And then we found a bunch of people that we asked for their advice and just to read the manuscript and give us some, ideas on what they might like to see. And then I just looked into self-publishing, because it's so difficult right now to find a publisher to do anything like that. And self-publishing is very, very easy. So we actually used Amazon, which is probably, in my opinion, the easiest way to self-publish, because if you create just a manuscript and have somebody proofread it, you can upload it And then it's print on demand, which means you no longer have to have these huge runs where you're producing, in the previous decades, you had to, put a book out and then you would have to like run 2,000 copies for your first run. Well, you don't have to do that anymore. So there basically is very little financial things that you have to do. And then as people are finding your book, then they can order it on Amazon. And what I found interesting is that in the beginning, when I did this, it sounded like I could only be on Amazon, that larger book companies like Barnes and Noble would never be interested in self-published books. But now when I find my book on Google, I see that they actually carry our books as well. So it's basically in all of the major outlets. So that's really cool.
I saw that. That's so amazing.
Yeah.
And have you been able to use YouTube to help promote your book much?
That's one thing that I should be doing, and I'm not. It's interesting how our focus has been so much on other things, and maybe kind of comes down to kind of realizing when you have all these projects. My idea was that they really all work together, right? We have a website, we do dog training, we have a book, we have a YouTube channel. Now we also have a podcast. But I'm very, very bad at promoting, I should say. So I like to bring the content out, but then I always feel bad at the end to say, hey, I'm also, the author of Keep Your Paws on the Road. So I should probably do a much better job at that. But that's another video idea, right? For the summer.
Absolutely. Well, I'll do a little bit of promotion for you. The links to Jim and Bee's books are actually in the description of this video if you want to have a little look. They're so good. And you can also find Bee's YouTube channel there, which is amazing. I have had a lovely question come through from Nina McCann that says, where do you and Jim want to take your YouTube? Where do you and Jim want your YouTube channel to take you next? Thank you, Nina.
Yes. Yeah. Hi, Nina. So yeah, our YouTube channel is really hopefully what will take us into retirement. So as I was saying, we are dog trainers. So right now we do in-person dog training. We are a behavior specialist. So we specialize in going into people's homes and helping them with behavior issues. And our hope is that we would retire and travel more with our dogs, and that the YouTube channel would be able to financially support us in doing that.
That leads me into this next little question, if you're happy talking about it. In what ways have you monetized your channel other than YouTube monetization? So YouTube monetization, when you get to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, you can apply to be part of the YouTube partner program, where I think that's what it's called, where you get a certain amount of income for the ads that you see that roll before people's videos. So apart from that, in what ways have you been able to monetize your channel, Bee?
Yeah, so obviously the ads are a big part of the monetization, but we also do affiliates, and Amazon affiliate is our number one. But we are now with 7,000 plus subscribers. We are actually in a situation where other companies will approach us for products and affiliate links. So we have done quite a few of those. And when you get into that spot, that's when you see on your video it says paid promotion. That's because we get free products, or we get paid for putting some reviews up there. And then, of course, there's usually an affiliate link that we will have with that as well. So as people are purchasing the product because they clicked on our links in the description below the videos, that is affiliate marketing. And then, of course, our books are another revenue source for us. And we are hoping something that we're doing in the future is that we'll have hopefully an online course.
Oh, that would be amazing. That's such a wonderful idea. Yes. Another question also from Nina that has come through. Have you found that there's a good community on YouTube?
So that is one thing that I find is hard for me to build. So and I'll be glad to talk about that. So we have about 7,200 subscribers right now. But if you went to my YouTube channel and you looked under the community tab, you would find that very few people engage actually in that. So it's very different from Facebook. For instance, I have through the book, when I was doing the book promotions, I started a Facebook group called Keep Your Paws on the Road, and also one called Arizona Dog Friendly, which is more geared towards what we do here in the Valley. And those are very much large groups where 2,000, 3,000 people are actually engaging and sharing their posts. And I find that very, very difficult on YouTube. And it maybe comes to, and for people obviously that are interested in starting their YouTube channel or are already on the journey, I guess one of the lessons I've learned is, for me, at least for our channel, YouTube has not been very much about the subscribers, but more about other people. And 94% of the views that we're getting on our channel are non-subscribers.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
really interesting. Yeah, I recently crossed over 500 subscribers, so that's the milestone, I guess, that you need to reach in order to open up the community tab that Bea was talking about. And I was so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to communicate with my community every day, and which I try to do like as much as possible. And I do think it is helpful to a certain extent because you can run polls and all of that sort of cool thing. But I was pretty surprised by how little interaction there is within the actual community tab itself. But then I was also very comforted by going to like a huge channel like Think Media and seeing that, that even in their community tab, some of their posts get so little interaction. But I suppose I'd love to know, Bea and I actually met through a wonderful Facebook group called Video Ranking Academy, which is for students of Think Media. So we're both doing a course which teaches you how to do YouTube better. I'd love to know, how have you found that particular community, like communities outside of YouTube itself, for supporting the YouTube journey?
We found the Sean Kennel course through watching other YouTube videos. And I think it's very important. I think anybody that starts a YouTube channel finds themselves very quickly looking on YouTube for inspiration and things to do better, right? And to grow their channel, because that obviously, I think there's the majority of people that are going to do a YouTube channel wish to grow their channel into more subscribers, more views. And at some point, I think everybody kind of gets to this plateau where they're like, okay, it's been growing, and that has been the case for us, but how do you take it to the next step? How do you become better at the craft, and how do you reach more people with your message? And that's how I came across Think Media, through their YouTube channel. And I guess you just, you watch somebody's video and it just speaks to you. And we did actually look into several different programs. And I'm always very much a person, maybe it is because we're dog trainers and behaviorists, I'm very much a person of, how does that feel to me? Do I feel welcome? Do I feel comfortable? And that was just a case for me with the VRA, the Video Ranking Academy. I really felt comfortable, and I felt they were very very much trying to help people, and there was a lot of quality information, and so that's why I chose that program.
Yeah, I'm very always very cautious of what I spend money on particularly online, but in all of life, I'm a little bit I don't spend my money willy-nilly these days. I used to. I used to be very terrible with my money, but it took me a long while to decide to actually go through with doing the Video Ranking Academy course. But it's been so immensely valuable. But I was blown away by how much free content they offer as well. Like, they've got a YouTube channel full of stuff that's so valuable, and that for me was what made me want to continue and actually, pay for doing the course with them.
Yeah.
Because I'd already gotten 6 months worth of free stuff out of them, which is a really good and wonderful lesson, I think, as well, in the importance of being willing to give on this platform as well, and not just asking for, I think it's kind of wonderful that not all of your videos are like, hey, buy my book, buy my book, buy my book. Like, it's good that there's so much on there that people can get so much value out of. But then there is a way that if people want to go deeper with you, they can buy one of your books. And, in the future, when you have your training courses, they'll have the option of going deeper with you with one of your courses. I think it's wonderful. You're building such a great thing. It's so good. I was wondering, what tips do you have for people who are just starting out on YouTube?
Wow, there's so much to learn. And I think that the most important thing is just get started, because I think that's the biggest thing. I see so many people, especially in the course that we're just at, where there's sometimes people that they're learning, which is wonderful. And there is certainly a lot to learn, especially if you're like me. I shoot my own videos, I edit my own videos, I post my own videos, I market my own videos. So obviously there's a huge amount of information to go through, but you do need to just get started, and things will fall into place. If you just think constantly you're not ready and you're just learning more and more, I think you're not going to do it, because that's what you're doing, is you think you're not going to be perfect. And I think for anybody that has a YouTube channel, I mean, if you look at our videos, they're certainly not perfect, and we're still little, funny in front of the camera. We're still not all that comfortable, because it is awkward to talk to just the little camera instead of talking to a person. So I think it's just the most important thing is just follow your passion. If there's something that you really love to do, then you have a message for other people, and there is going to be a community out there, and there's going to be people that want to hear what you have to say. So just get started. That's the main thing I would say.
Yeah, I think that's such wonderful advice. And to worry constantly about it not being perfect. It's like, there's so much stuff on YouTube that's not perfect. But I always just feel like you have to make those things that aren't perfect. You have to do the live streams that aren't perfect, post the thing that's not perfect, because that's leading you closer to, doing something that really does reach a lot of people. But yeah, you don't get there without doing it. And I think it's so interesting in the group, in Video Ranking Academy, seeing the comments, like lots and lots of people saying that they just still haven't posted their first video.
Yeah.
And I'm really interested in, I would love to have someone on the channel who hasn't yet posted. I'd love to chat with someone who hasn't yet posted a video, because I'm really curious about the psychology behind that, I guess. When all of the evidence kind of points to just make stuff and work it out as you go, and that's a really good way to go.
Yeah, I would just say that when you are making videos, one of the things that I see, I have a couple of friends or people that we met on the road that are also YouTube creators, and what I see from some of them who have a really hard time growing their channel even after years is make videos that people can find. And that is the number one thing too. I think that, you're learning in some of the online courses is it's easy to make content that you want to make, But if you say episode 21, can you guess what happened today? Nobody's going to find your video, right? Who's going to look or who's going to search for that title? And I think that's the biggest mistake that I see people make, is that they title their videos in such a fashion that, and yes, the 10 people that know about your channel and they want to know what's coming up this Sunday and where did you go, they're going to find that video, but YouTube is not going to know who to put that video in front because it has absolutely no search value, so to speak.
Yeah, the importance of having keywords in your title is just so important, and it's amazing how simple that is. It's such a simple tip, but such a wonderful tip, because there's, I look at a lot of YouTube channels and wonder, I'm very curious about what works and what doesn't, and even with my own stuff going, why didn't this work? But here's what I did today isn't something people are searching for. How can I, how can I grow my YouTube channel? Might be something that people are searching for.
Yeah.
There's a lot of videos about that. So, fighting your way to the top of that is a bit of a challenge, but finding specific things like, today's video, we have Arizona dog trainer, and that's I think a really specific thing. And I think we'll hopefully, if anyone here is looked up Arizona dog trainer and that's led them to this video, I would be very curious to know. Let me know in the comments what led you here today, where you're watching from, all that sort of stuff. And if you're getting value, give us a thumbs up. That'd be awesome. What have you found have been the most viewed videos on your channel? Is there any kind of rhyme or reason to it, do you think? I have a screenshot here of what they are.
Yeah, so if you look at our #1 rated video there, it's the reactive dog video, and it's how to solve a problem. People obviously, I think we learned that, and most people know this. YouTube is the second largest search engine after Google, and Google owns YouTube. So obviously, and two, if you put in reactive videos, one of the things I'm proud of is that many of our videos now come up in the Google search, not just in the YouTube search. And we do get a huge percentage of our views. As I said, 94% of our views come from non-subscribers, which means people find us through searches. And that's our primary way of people actually finding their way to our videos and to our channel. And that #1 video there, obviously it solves a very emotional problem. And I think for our niche, canine dog parents, or modern dog parents, as I like to call them, is, those are some of the pressing issues. People are, especially people that want to travel with their dogs. If you have a dog that is going to be reactive and he's going to bark at every motorcycle and every dog that passes you, or people that are jogging past you, traveling with your dog becomes no fun. In fact, that's the #1 thing we talk about in our book. It's like, if it's no fun to take your dog out, more than likely the dog is going to stay home and you're going to travel on your own, or you're going to adventure or go to the, on your daily outings on your own. So that has always been our main focus, is what are some of the skills that people need to make it fun to do things with their dogs. And so pulling on the leash, jumping, being reactive, those are our top videos right there. The other ones that I think do really, really well are the product reviews, because people are looking, what is going to make travel easier.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so interesting to see that all of your top videos here: stop your dog's reactive behavior on leash, stop your dog from pulling on the leash, teach your dog to greet people without jumping, stop your dog from pulling on the, like, it's so clear here from this that, it's solving a problem. And that's one thing that I think is just so valuable from looking at your channel. What have been some of the things, that have been your worst performing videos? Do you know, like, can you feel the difference when you post something that's, I don't know, not in this set of guidelines?
It is interesting that we have, I was talking about, we have an interview show called People with Passion for Pets that we actually turned into a podcast. And that was an interesting journey too, because those videos don't do really well on our YouTube channel. So we do share them there. We mix them into our regular content. They do very well on our podcast. And one of the things, I guess, maybe I came across it kind of on chance, but as we were traveling, I love listening to podcasts. And I was just kind of realizing more and more people don't listen to radio anymore. And there really aren't any big talk shows, but there's a lot of podcasts, and podcasts are becoming more and more popular because people want to find things on demand. It's kind of like, regular TV is kind of going away. People are streaming on demand because they want to get the shows they want when they want them, not at 9 a.m. in the morning when they can't listen to them, but at 5 o'clock in the afternoon when they have time or when they're on the road. And so a year ago, I had the idea of taking just the interview series, just the People with Passion for Pets interviews, and make them into a podcast. And so the podcast is called People with Passion for Pets, and it's available on all the major podcast channels, and it's doing extremely well. Now, I'm still sharing the YouTube videos. There has been kind of in my mind, part of me says, just share them on the podcast, don't share them on YouTube. Maybe in the future we might do that, but for now we still share them on both channels.
Well, that's where I have watched and listened to your podcast. So yeah, it's like I didn't actually, when I first started listening to your podcast, I didn't realize that they were available elsewhere as well. So I mean, there's an audience for it everywhere, I suppose. But do you think, I don't know, I'm still kind of newish to YouTube. Do you think that it has a detrimental effect on a channel to post things that are much longer?
I don't think so. And that's why I think that's one of the main reasons why I've chosen not to take them off the channel, because they are usually anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes long, some even as much as 45 minutes. And I think it's of great value because I think one of the metrics that people look so much into is subscribers. And as I said before, to me, I have learned, yes, it's very important to get through that 1,000 subscribers because you want to monetize on your channel. It's a big milestone. But I find even though subscribers are coming in and we're at 7,200 subscribers, it's our non-subscribers that are watching our content. And so I'm more focused now on the views and also on the average view duration, which is how long do people actually watch your videos. And I think that's probably one of my most important metric that I'm looking at right now.
And what are some ways that you are planning to, going to try to increase those things?
Well, that's a good question, and I'm not sure that I have a good answer for that. I guess part of me is just hoping that as people discover our channel, they're going to find us, at least in my mind, people find us because they have a specific problem. How do I get my dog to stop reacting to other dogs, or how do I get my dog to stop pulling on the leash? But I'm hoping that when they are seeing our videos and they enjoy our content, that they then will say, okay, what else is out there from this particular creator? And then the interviews that we do in my perspective are very valuable because they offer people that create a product out of the love for their pets. But it is interesting. I don't know if there's going to be that carryover. I'm hoping that there will be, and I'm sure there will be a small percentage of the people will do that, but I don't know. I guess we'll just have to kind of see how that goes.
Yeah, for sure. I was listening to a Gary Vaynerchuk book yesterday called Crushing It. Such a good book. And in the book, he was talking about how like interviews with people and collaborating with people and, you know, kind of what you're doing on your channel, kind of what I'm doing on my channel as well. Fit Dad Chris has just joined the room, another wonderful YouTuber who does great live streams about, you know, being a fit dad. Thank you so much for joining us, Chris. It's so cool to have you in one of my live streams. Where was I going with that? Oh, yeah. So the people that we collaborate with, we don't know where they're headed in their journey on YouTube or as people. And he was saying that he did a collaboration with someone from the Musical.ly, which is now turned into TikTok, and they're one of the biggest creators on Musical.ly at the time. And it's like, you just have absolutely no idea. So it's amazing that, like, some of the interviews that we do now, potentially we have the content that people in 5 years' time, 10 years' time are going to be going, oh, I wonder what they did before this. And then here's this interview of them closer to the beginning of their journey. And it's like, who knows? Who knows? And I think that's one of the things that I absolutely love about YouTube and this very interesting journey is that it is a journey. It's a long journey, and we have absolutely no idea where it's going to lead.
Yeah,
but
and
I
think sometimes you do make content and you don't know, and you just have to put it out there and you see if people are going to react to it. I think the other thing, though, that you're speaking to, which is what I really believe in as well, is the people that are interviewing, they're in the canine world. They're creating products for dog parents. And so, you know, I recently interviewed the guy that created Dog TV, and that was a fun interview. So I'm meeting these people that are in the same, you know, genre or the same niche that I'm in. And as you're saying, I mean, those are keyword rich interviews, right? I mean, and hopefully at some point, if somebody is looking for Dog TV, they'll come across one of my interviews and say, oh, here's kind of the behind the scenes look at Dog TV, right? How did it get started? What was the idea? And isn't it cute that Dog TV got started because of a cat watching TV?
It's so good. I watched that interview. It's so wonderful. And I'm hoping that one day people are like looking up, oh, what was Modern Canine doing years ago? Oh, how cute that they're on Claire Sarah's channel. That's so lovely. We've got, if you have time for it, B, we have an awesome question that's just come through from Emily O'Brien Brown, who is a wonderful legend and a dear friend of mine. Do you likes to refer to herself as a pet auntie, even though it's her dog, which is very interesting. Do you redo videos that you made in the beginning because now you know how to make them better, or know what specific info people are looking for?
I have plans to. I haven't yet, but that is definitely one thing that I've learned is that, you know, from the coaching course that I'm going through right now with Video Ranking Academy, is that you look at the videos that are performing well for you. And if you look at my #1 performing video, that video was made in 2018. So yes, definitely, we're going to go back and probably hopefully do that again and you know, build on the success of that video. And the tips are certainly valid, but like I said, that was one of our very first videos. So in my perspective, it's not a very good video, but it's
I think that there's
really well.
There's hundreds of thousands of people that would disagree with you, who think it's a really good video. But it also kind of speaks to, like, we were talking earlier about this idea of perfection and trying not to worry so much about being perfect, because like that just goes to prove, like, you know, this video that you think is not that good, the value that is provided in that video, even though the sound might not be that great or the image might not be that great, the value of the content is still really, really massive. So like, I mean, and I assume that when you do redo that video, you're not going to remove the original, are you? or are you?
No, I wouldn't. No,
No.
no.
No. But it's kind of wonderful to see, for me, as someone who's fairly new to YouTube, it's kind of wonderful to see the progression and how far your channel has come. And, you know, preparing for our chat today, I watched a lot of your videos and stuff from the very beginning of your journey on YouTube and stuff from more recently and in the middle. And it's, yeah, it's so interesting and it's so inspiring to see the growth. It's so cool.
Thank you.
Well, we're at 40 minutes already. I feel like I could chat with you for literally my entire life, but we probably can't do that forever. I think there might be a limit. But I'm so grateful to you for coming on my channel, and I'm so grateful to everyone who has tuned in. It's been so awesome. Thanks for all your comments. If you have gotten value out of this video, please let me know by hitting the like button. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe and hit the notification bell. And you can also check out Modern Canine on, it's linked. Either just look it up because there's a gajillion videos there that you can see. But I also have it linked in the description of this video for you to check out, along with Bee's books and, you know, all sorts of good stuff. Thank you. Thank you, Bee. Thank you, everyone. There's another video that I'm going to link at the end here that is with my dear brother, who has a YouTube channel that is all about how he has grown his social media influence online for his job as an artist. That was a perfect example of how to do a very imperfect outro. Thank you, everyone, for being here, and I'll catch you in the next video.